Time CEO out in Silicon Valley in Boston. So he's going to show you all the resources on campus to help you turn your entrepreneurship or a technical or engineering idea into a reality. So without further ado, please give a big round of applause for Oscar.
First of all, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys are technology students of any kind? 2. Okay, good. And this is the perfect audience, right? Because what I want to tell you is sooner or later, if you guys are thinking about building a product of any kind, you're going to need some of those guys. Okay, because along the way here, you're going to run up against creating an enclosure. You're going to create something. It may have electronics in it, it may not. It may just be software, I don't know, but you're going to need somebody to help you build something, and that's what this is all about. All right, so so fun, thank you very much for the intro. I'm a UCF alum, class of '86, so I'm an old guy. I've been around for a long time. I've spent about 29 years in industry, so I could have held on one more year into 30, but enough is enough. Right? So I came back after 4-time CEO in Silicon Valley, in Boston, in Atlanta, a lot of different places. And I came back to Florida because my family's here. It's time to kind of hang up the jet setting all the time. I was almost 80% travel some of the times, global, right? So I've been to 45 different countries, done business in 45 different countries. And it's fun, it's interesting, but then after a while, you kind of go back to the same place over and over again. You say, okay, there's more to life than just doing this, right? But you guys are not in that stage. You guys are in the stage of saying, hey, I want to make something of my career. I want to do something. I maybe want to change the world. That's awesome. And so what I'm here to do is help you guys get some pointers as to how you might want to do some of those things. So along the way, because I'm a computer engineering grad, that's my undergrad, I college engineering for a while, been part of the industry advisory board. And so when the new dean took over, he and I had a conversation about how to drive better entrepreneurship because of all the stuff that's happening on campus, including Blackstone, right? And so, increasingly what he found was that there was a great need for not just technology students, but all students to get access to how to make stuff, right? Because if you can't make it, you can't get your minimum viable prototype, right? So you guys all have been through Lean Startup? No? Okay. Lean Startup is the way to do things now, the accepted way to do things everywhere, including in Silicon Valley. So why does Lean Startup even exist? It exists because, can I turn this?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Let me,
Okay, all right. So it's got wheels. Awesome. All right. Helps my old back, So Lean Startup is all about making sure you don't blow through all your money and you don't have to go get more money prematurely, because all that happens when you do that is you give up a lot of control of your company. Okay? So if you're thinking about starting up a company, I encourage you to be as lean as you possibly can be, which means, and I say this to a lot of entrepreneurs, you got to kind of look like a blowfish, which means you got to look bigger than you really are. You got to puff up. Right? So you put this website up, and the website, make it as cheap as you possibly can, but make it look good. Because nobody can tell the difference between a big company or a small company when you're looking at a website. Okay, so long as it's a good website. So, the more you do things in a lean way, that sets you up for being able to then have the conversations that say, am I really going to get value? There's a great statement up there that says, people don't buy products, they buy value. Right? Internalize it, because that's real. There's been a lot of products made that nobody wants to buy. Okay, a lot of things that people invent in the shower that nobody wants to buy, right? And it's because no one ever went out to talk to their customer or their would-be customer to say, hey, will you guys buy this? Because the customer might actually give you some feedback and say, yes, we might, no, we won't, or, I might buy it if it did this instead. Then there's critical information that you get to build whatever you want to build, right? So whether you're delivering a service or you're delivering a product of any kind, you need to make sure that there's value for the customer, because then the customer will give you value in the form of dollars. Okay, it's a trade for value, right? You give them something they want, they give you something you want, everybody's happy. Lean startup is the best way to do that because it teaches you, it's an approach that teaches you how to do things in a lean way so you don't use a lot of money up front. And if your idea turns out to be not so good, you haven't blown through your entire stash and you go on to the next thing, right? If your idea happens to be 50% good and all you have to do is do something called a pivot, which is adjust your strategy a little bit, you do that. And then you continue because you still have money left, you still have time, you still have your effort, and as we say in the industry, dry powder, right? Having dry powder, that's the old terms when people used to go to war and they had to load their muskets and all that stuff. You didn't want your powder to get wet in the rain because you couldn't use it. You got to have dry powder. That's money, effort, time, value to be able to put into your startup. Okay, so it's probably a good idea to hone your idea before you spend lots of money. Some smart venture capitalists say that. Okay? At the same time, some smart entrepreneurs said, hey, if I do this right, I may not have to give up as much of my company. That's what diluted means. Right? So every time you go and you ask somebody for money, they say, great. Anybody, you guys all watch Shark Tank? Okay? $100,000 for 20% of your company. Right? That's what happens. So the more you can add value to your company before you have to go ask for money, the better off you are. Because then you can say, no, that $100,000, no, that's only worth 10% of my company. Right? If you do it right. So what Lean Startup is about is making sure that you put your plans in place, get your business model well defined, go out and talk to your potential customers about what you want to deliver, and then make sure you get it right before you spend any more money. Now, if anybody's making a product, along the way, you're going to have to build what's called a minimum viable prototype. Okay, you may have heard that before, MVP. MVP in this case doesn't stand for most valuable. Viable prototype. And that minimum viable prototype means I'm going to build just as much as I need to show this customer what I think I'm going to build, but I'm going to give you some feedback. Okay? So one of the things that we've done is we've added these maker shops because it's a critical part of the process. Now here we are at the Blackstone Launchpad. Now you got lots of people coming in, like you guys, coming in and saying, hey, I got a business idea. I want to go build this, I want to go build that. I'm seeing up there, I'm reading, and I'm saying, need an app developer, need an app programmer, need this, need that, right? Okay? People have ideas. And so in here, it's about getting some great consulting for guys like Ron to hone your business model. But sooner or later, you get to the point where you say, okay, I got my business model, and now I got to show something. If not, the customer's going to think I'm, just smoking mirrors, right? So you could, after that, go to the starter lab. If you get a decent business model, and your new venture evolution can begin. And I'm seeing here launch and startup in one semester. All these things can happen. What we realized, however, is that if you can get to then a venture acceleration, and then eventually maybe go into the incubator and get all this great advice along the way, there was something critically missing, and that's your ability to build something. Okay? And so there are lots of places you'll find around the country and really around the world now, and even here in Orlando, where people have made it, set up makeshift garages and all kinds of interesting things, and places to go build stuff, because that's the way you get to the next step in your business, is you got to build something to be able to show it, right? And so, one of the things we realized is on campus, if we want to make this real, we needed to add maker shops, and so that's what we did. Okay, and actually, to be honest with you, we probably will become, not yet, because we just opened the doors, right? So we're kind of getting ourselves started along the way here. We're figuring out what process works, what doesn't, how many hours do we have to stay open. All these critical things you learn in a new startup, we're learning because we're a startup maker shop. Okay, but along the way here, I believe we're going to become the ultimate maker shop, because in those labs over there, that I'm going to take you on a tour, by the way, before we're done. In those labs, we can make just about anything. Okay, we are the ultimate maker shop. You want to make a transmission, we can make all the gears. You want to make software, we can make software. You want to make electronics, we can make electronics. You want to make Mechanical enclosures, we can make mechanical enclosures. We can do all that. We can make that. Okay? Now, so along the way here, the first come to the Blackstone Launchpad, Knowledge of Business Services. You'll make sure you get yourself launched, right? And you're ready to go. You come to CECS, make your shop, so you'll make your minimum viable prototype. And School of Visual Arts and Design is also has a piece in it. So if you go to the Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership, you've got a couple of guys that are going to be there all the time from the School of Visual Arts and Design. So why is that? Well, because you want your prototype to look like this, not like this. Because if you're going to go show a customer something that they're going to buy, you're probably going to get better attention when listening to this. And engineers, by the way, by and large, and I apologize to my brother here, engineers by and large don't necessarily pay attention to the functional things and don't necessarily pay attention to the pretty things. Because, you know, the honest truth is, if you look at this iPhone, if it wasn't as sleek and as glamorous as it is, it probably wouldn't have sold, right? But if it didn't work, it definitely would have sold. Okay? So it's a marriage of engineering and design in this. And both of those things go together to make these things. By the way, this is a Tesla, and this is a circa 1990 Russian Moscow. Okay? So there's an old, yes, sir.
So CECS is for
College of Engineering and Computer Science.
It's basically for building the minimum viable product.
Absolutely. We will make stuff that's functional for you, right? And eventually you'll get to the point of the college of being making a viable business, hopefully, and you get to use all these resources that you see. Right? So let's talk about this. This is really designed enabling you guys as student leaders to understand, to learn the craft of engineering, because sooner or later, whether you are a technology person or you're going to work with technology people, you got to know how these things are made, because you got to understand the limitations. By the way, Steve Jobs was not a technologist. You guys all heard of that guy. Okay. He wasn't a technologist, but he worked with technology people and understood how they worked and what they needed in order to enable them. And he was a guy that really understood the customer and made that product real by working with engineering and technology, right? Because you have a critical role to play. And if you're a technologist, you also have a critical role to play. This works together in order to make high-tech products. Right? So let's talk about the labs. So you'll find that there are 4 pieces to the labs. There are actually 4 labs. Okay. First is something called a gathering lab. Okay, gathering lab is basically this big atrium, and it's got whiteboard tables and everything else. And there is a place for you guys that are not technologists, if you want to go find the technology co-founder, that's the place to hang out. Because they hang out over there. They eat lunch, they do their homework, they do all that stuff over there. Right? So if anybody has written one of these over there, I would go right down on one of those tables. Because I think you're going to get, you know, there's, anybody here like to fish? Okay, well, you know, you got to go fish where the fish are. Right? That's where the fish are. The gathering lab is a place where technology students are hanging out no matter what. Okay? And they're really not that scary. You know, they're actually normal people. Okay? So the second thing is the idea lab. The whole concept of the idea lab, if you walk into the atrium, you see it looks like a fishbowl. It's made out of glass. Okay? In there are grad students and there are professors that will help you shape your idea. These are innovation experts. So if you have an idea that you think you want, you have a rough idea what you want to do, but you haven't really honed it down into what you want to get done, these guys can help you think through it. And they'll probably frustrate you a little bit because they'll tell you, okay, go get me 5 ideas of how to get it done. The reason that they want to tell you that is so that you can think broadly. Think about the many, many ways that you can do it, right? So that you can bring it down to the most viable way to do it. And most viable means, what do you think the customer wants? What do you think it takes to get it built? All those different things, okay? The next is the Texas Instruments Innovation Lab. This is where stuff actually gets made, okay? Here is electronics, it's software. Everybody's welcome in there. You don't just have to be a technology person. We have many people that walk in and say, hi, I don't know where to start, but and our goal is to serve as a way to get this database working together between the College of Business and the College of Engineering, so that we can operate similar to Stanford University. The way Stanford works down in California is they have a database of people seeking people. It's kind of like a dating website, only for entrepreneurs, right? So, hey, I need an application programmer. Hey, I need a marketing person. Hey, I need someone who understands retail, because I'm a technology person and I'm going to make this great thing, but I don't know how to sell it because I don't know anything about retail. So I need somebody to help me with retail. Everybody needs somebody, right, from a different angle. And that whole concept of being able to bring different skills and different capabilities and different experiences together is key to entrepreneurship. So these are the things that will be evolving over the course of the next few months. The last thing is the manufacturing lab. Now, the manufacturing lab is a place where if you get your minimum viable prototype and you really now have talked it over with the customers and you really believe now this is what you want to build, this is the place where you can build a final product. Okay. Yes, sir?
Is there, what are the limitations? Let's say you control the steps, you're already at the point where you've got a product that you, at least for the most part, it's a finished design. What are the limitations to the number of them that you can produce there?
Well, you're going to find that the capacity isn't big. Okay, so like say for example, we have 2 industrial 3D printers. Right? Those 3D printers, like every 3D printer, is slow as molasses. Okay, they're all slow. There's none of them that have been made that are fast. Right? Additive manufacturing is still not a fast process. So, before you conceive of printing lots of things that you think is your final product, you should really think about finding some money and creating an injection mold and go stamp that out, at a very low cost per unit, because that's really what you want, and very fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be limited capacity, and also you have other people who are going to say, hey, this is not a factory, I need to get my prototype done too, right? Which is absolutely true. These are not designed to be factories. I mean, this is a manufacturing lab because here's where we teach technology students how a factory works, right? So it's not really designed for high volume. So thank you for asking the question, because that's an important concept that you guys need to internalize, right? So this isn't really a place where you guys are going to now scale your business, right? You need to go build your factory, right? Go find somebody to build it. Okay? Questions on this? Okay, so this is what it physically looks like. So over here is the business building. Over here is the student union. You walk in this way, like this. This is engineering 1 over here. This is engineering 2, and in between in the atrium is this. So have you guys ever been in there in the atrium?
So,
No? Oh, hey, you're gonna get your chance today if you come on the tour, right? So I'll show you how to get there. It's really easy, right? There's no wormholes or anything to go through. You don't have to worry about that, right? But when you walk in here, this is the gathering lab. Lots of tables, lots of whiteboarding space, lots of people doing homework, lunch, etc. This is where they hang out, right? This is the ID lab. It's a fishbowl. It's made out of glass. You get to write on the glass, all kinds of things. The whole idea is to make your ideas. This is the innovation lab. These 2 places over here, electronics, lots of people on benches, building stuff, etc. Over here in the back here, the 3D printers, big laser cutters, all kinds of things going on. When we get over there, you'll see there's lots of activity. This stuff, we've only been open 6 weeks, and it's inundated every day. Okay? And then this is a manufacturing lab, lots of heavy machining in here, so all this is walled off. You need safety glasses, you need all that. You don't just walk into that one. Here you walk in, here clearly you can walk in. Here, you gotta make it up. Just because of safety. Questions? Okay. All right. So the maker shops are designed clearly for technology students to be able to get their stuff done. Before you can be an engineer at UCF, you got to have a senior design project done. So that means you, as part of the team, they're going to build stuff. They're going to get something done. By the way, some of those wind up being businesses. We have a simulator that was made last semester that already has money, and they're going to continue to make it a flight simulator. It's a low-cost flight simulator based on, low-cost mechanisms, etc. And that student team has already got an entrepreneur working with them, and they're already moving down the path of making business. So that certainly can happen. There are some researchers that need prototypes done every once in a while, and they're just technology students who like to explore. These are good people you guys need to get to know because they're the place to go find founders, right? Yes.
Just so I'm very excited about it. So for all of those maker shops, I mean, you don't have to be a College of Engineering and Computer Science student to make appointments.
You don't.
Anyone can.
You don't. Students may use some or all the labs, but this is available to any student, just like this Lifestyle Launchpad is available to any student. What we want is, usually there's a boot camp that we're safety reasons, right? So just be prepared to spend an hour, hour and a half learning not to cut your finger off, right? Okay. Yes?
Where do you sign up to make an appointment?
So each one of these labs, so there's no appointment for this, clearly you just walk in. The Idea Lab, you should walk in and make an appointment. There'll be grad students in there. By the way, this eventually is going to go, as we develop it, is going to go to an Apple store, like, we'll put it on the web, right? Set up your appointment on the web, but we're not there yet. This is part of our startup team. And then the Innovation Lab, you walk in and you talk to a guy named Dale Jackson. He runs the lab. Dale will make sure that you get, airtime. Okay. And then the Manufacturing Lab, there's a fellow named Tim. He runs it, and here you got to be sure that when you walk in, you will have already been here before you get here, because Tim will only manufacture things or will only create things that already have designs. So you guys know about SolidWorks? Okay, well, if you don't have a SolidWorks program, Tim can't do anything with it, right? SolidWorks is just basically a piece of software that helps you design something so that you can actually put it on a machine and get it built. Okay? There's no magic here, right? I know we like to throw out buzzwords. Technology guys do this, right? All right. The last piece I want to show here is, in addition, the maker shops are designed to enable founders, whether you are an engineering technology student or not. Doesn't matter. Okay? My point here is, what a great place to go find a co-founder. Right? If you're Steve Jobs, you need a Steve Wozniak. Or your computer never gets built. Right? You need to go find a Steve Wozniak. All right? And the same thing I say to the Steve Wozniaks over there, you guys need to go find Steve Jobs. Or what you build, nobody buys. Okay? All right? You want to be the Apple. You don't want to be the Altair 64. Anybody know what an Altair 64 is? That's my point. Okay, so how does this work? Again, gathering lab, go figure out something you want to work on, come to the Idea Lab. Here, one or more ideas. After they let you hone your ideas, you bring it to the Innovation Lab. This is going to be iterative. You're going to have an idea, it goes into innovation. Oh, that didn't work. Ooh, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. Okay? The idea of going back to the drawing board is real in engineering. Why? Because you'd rather make your mistakes here than go in front of the customer, waste all your time saying, ta-da, and then the customer says, oh, what the heck is that? So, when you are, before you get into the system, you should already have done your Blackstone Launchpad process. You should ideally have already contacted your 100 customers and say, hey, I have this idea, what do you think? Got your feedback, so by the time you get into this mode, you got a pretty good idea of what you're going to do, right? Saves time, saves effort, saves frustration. Okay? If you need something heavy manufactured, I always give this, I run into a lot of students that love working on cars, right? Oh, I have this great idea for a new overdrive gear in my transmission. Well, great. Well, you're not going to print an overdrive gear on your 3D printer made out of plastic. Okay? After you got it nicely designed in 3D plastic, that's good. Then you're going to take it to a CNC machine over here, which is just an automated machine that's going to make it out of some sort of carbonized steel in order to make sure that you can actually drop it into a transmission if that's what you want. Yes?
So there's no cost for supplies for students?
There's no cost for supplies. Tech fees already pay for this. Now, I will tell you this. If you walk in, and we've had a couple of people already do this, if you walk in and you're monopolizing the 3D printer, Dale is probably going to say, okay, you got to give other people airtime because you use it all plastic. Okay, so he's gonna ask you to be judicious about the things that you print. But we've been pretty liberal, right? Because we want to encourage everyone to do their thing, just make sure that you understand that, you know, if he says, hey, I gotta give some other people airtime, you understand what he means. Okay. And then college, the School of Visual Arts and Design, I think is really key. If you're gonna build something that needs to be aesthetic, I strongly encourage you to find someone who can help you from the School of Visual Arts and Design. Okay, you'll find them at the Starter Lab, and we will have them also interconnected with us. They have maker shops, by the way, both one on campus and one over at Research Park as well. Okay, and these guys understand aesthetics, and they'll make it look pretty. Okay, and so that way it looks like this, right? Okay, other questions? Yes, sir.
Will you be passing by that spot?
We will. Actually, here, I got some maps for you guys. You guys can pick up. Well, I'll let you pick it up. And here's some literature if you guys want to do it. Talks a little bit about the maker shops. If we don't have enough, there'll be some more over there. Yes.
You have that PowerPoint available somewhere online?
I don't, but I can make it available. Can I PDF this and send it to you?
Of course.
My pleasure.
Let's do it.
Okay. Questions? All right, yeah.
You guys ready for a tour?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Go.
Yes. You just take on. There should be one. Eric, grab him. Let's go on a tour, y'all.
Hey, Alex, will you self-broadcast?
Stop the broadcast. I'll bring him back to you.